she owed me for travel expenses, that she had agreed to reimburse me. This is $34,000 worth of travel expenses.
Okay, I'm going to have Officer Montejano come and grab those, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up to my colleagues.
All right, Dr. Renee, your sisters, have you had a good relationship in the past?
Linda has been envious of me most of her life.
Why
she's
Time
wearing
out.
this?
Time out.
What?
This happens sometimes. There are issues when people hire relatives because the emotional attachment to the relative interferes with the judgment that you would make if it were a stranger.
Right.
And this is what's complicated this issue for us. I have nothing further.
I want to hear what Marshall has to say.
Thank you.
He looks like he's busting at the seams.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to be clear, working for I Am More was a family dynamic. And what we're actually talking about is work that we did separate from our original duties within the organization. And so I also have had to file a claim for the unpaid wages as well. And so we had a family or organizational discussion about what was going to happen with this contract.
So you're suing for the same reason as
Absolutely.
Linda. You were paid through I Am More, and you're looking to be paid from this contract.
Correct.
Okay.
Dr. Renee, do you remember a conversation with Marshall and the plaintiff concerning compensation on this third-party contract?
They did not invite me to the meetings, quite frankly, Your Honor. But when they came there and they were having a meeting when I was there, then I attended the meeting, but it felt like they were talking in code because the energy shifted. I was unwelcome.
Are you telling us that you were unaware of any commitment on your part to pay the plaintiff or Marshall the monies that they're asking?
I would have never agreed to it, Your Honor.
And
it
why
didn't
not?
make any sense. They were not authorized
Were they already
to get
on your
extra money.
payroll, these people?
They were already on my payroll.
And
they
you
were paid every
is that,
month.
Were you on their payroll, Marshall?
Yes, I was.
So you were getting a salary,
I was getting a salary.
and you made your own hours.
I didn't make my own hours. I was there every day. But there was no... If
Did you have time cards?
You're asking if they're
Did you have-
documented.
I want to know if you
That's
had
what I'm
time
referring to.
cards.
No, sir.
Would you like to see at least the employee manual? Because that kind of
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be good. And what did you want to say? I don't want to cut you off, but keep it short and concise, please.
We worked Monday through Sunday most of the time. She required us to, because there were things happening every
based on
day.
projects, sir.
I understand.
Can I just clarify, Your Honor? So I never made them work from Monday.
I understand that.
Because I would give them time off.
Sometimes it's very difficult to explain the obvious.
Right.
I understand the obvious.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
project.
You're both excused while we deliberate in this matter.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Here's my impression of the case, and I tried to simplify it, but sometimes there are cases that cannot be simplified. But first observation, the defendant didn't manage this well. And as you pointed out, Rachel, the money flow was from the third party to the defendant. Right. And the plaintiff has not produced a single piece of evidence indicating any written understanding that she was to be paid as she's currently requesting that we do so.
She should have asked for a higher salary. Look, I'm taking on way more than what my
And put
job
it
is.
in an email.
And send it to her sister, talk to her sister about it, but not try and get money from a contract that was essentially working with her sister's organization. So she was double dipping or trying to. My problem is the sister just wasn't overseeing
No,
things.
she didn't supervise it. She was pretty much working as she wanted to work. And
Seems like everybody was.
And I think the defendant had a legitimate concern about what was going on. My verdict would be to dismiss
Both.
the cause of action, both causes of action.
Both. I agree. $8,000 in June.
How do you feel?
I completely agree. And I don't even see it as $8,000 in June. I see it as she was an employee, right?
Right.
She has a dispute with her employer. First of all, she should have sued the entity. But she has a dispute with her employer about whether she was overworked or whether she got a certain percentage of revenue from a contract. It goes by what she's being paid by the employer. She doesn't have any claim to these outside funds at all. So I would dismiss. And the countersuit is a joke.
It's a joke.
This is one of the worst run businesses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She was just letting everybody run wild.
Right.
And that's a terrible way to run a business,
Right.
but it doesn't mean that her employees are all of a sudden entitled to create budgets and pay themselves more. So I would dismiss both.
All right.
Dismissed.
We have a verdict.